Hello, welcome to Karamoja Peace and Technology University, KAPATU. An idea initiated by the Catholic Diocese of Kotido, the Catholic Diocese of Moroto, the Catholic Lawyer Society International, and the Government of Uganda to establish an institution of higher learning in Karamoja, for the people of Karamoja and by the people of Karamoja. KAPATU aims to become a transformational university, win people away from a life of cut rustling, gun violence, to one that promotes peace and security, technological innovation, using the TVET Act to promote skilling. KAPATU, based at its headquarters or main campus at Losilung, just a few kilometers outside of the Kotido Municipality, will serve the people of Karamoja, the Greater Ateker, Uganda, the East African region, and the world with world-class education. Join me in this journey, in this documentary, where we see from the initiation of KAPATU, the journey it has moved so far, and what it plans to do going forward. Welcome and enjoy the documentary.
The Karamoja subregion in northeastern Uganda borders Kenya to the east and South Sudan to the north and lies within close proximity to southern Ethiopia within the cross-border area of the Atekere people, which straddles across Uganda, South Sudan, Kenya and Ethiopia. Karamoja is endowed with vast untapped potentials, including the young population where over 65% are below the age of 25. Agricultural land that supports both pastoral and agro-pastoral activities, potential for valuable minerals, tourism, and underutilized opportunities for industrial growth. Its strategic location could be harnessed for cross-border trade and services in mineral resources and livestock for value-added industries. These potentials, if sustainably harnessed, could transform the Karamoja region through rapid industrialization and improve livelihoods for the population. However, Karamoja has been characterized by persistent poverty and insecurity, which emanates from inter-community violence, livestock raiding, and cross-border resource-based conflicts, as well as social and cultural barriers to development. This is coupled with harsh climatic conditions and weak governance and administration mechanisms which make the region food insecure. Poverty in the Karamoja sub-region stands at 74.2% as of 2024-2025, up from 65%, marking it as the poorest region in Uganda. This rate is 4 times higher than the national average of 16.1%. Karamoja also has the highest percentage of the population with no formal education. Up to 79.8% of females and 64.8% of males in some areas lack basic education. The average literacy rate is 30.4%, with female literacy as low as 22.6%. Over 4 decades, the Karamoja region has been a priority for the Government of Uganda as the only region given special attention in the NRM 10-point program. The region has received substantial government investment, bringing the total coverage of national roads from 163 kilometers in 2015 to 303 kilometers in 2022, of which 93 kilometers are tarmacked.
The 10-point program of NRA, of His Excellency the President, when he came to power, it is only Karamoja sub-region which is in the 10-point program. So His Excellency the President and government is committed to move with all the leaders and the people of Karamoja until total transformation is achieved.
Access to electricity, especially in urban areas, has increased by 13.7% over the past 20 years. Educational facilities from primary to secondary and post-secondary technical education institutions have been enhanced. Primary healthcare facilities, especially health centers 2s and 3s, have been established in the region. Water facilities for animals and for human consumption are being put in place. In the serene settings of Losilung in the outskirts of Kotido town, on 75 acres of land offered by the Kotido Catholic Diocese, a university tailored to the needs of the Karamoja subregion, Karamoja Peace and Technology University, KAPATU, is taking shape. As an increased number of students from the Karamoja region complete secondary education, there has been a heightened demand for university education.
I'm Irene Itai, in Senior 6. I do hair, and that is history, and then art. I'm a student of Pope John Paul II Memorial College, Kabong.
In the past, many such students would not dream of accessible university education after completing high school. High costs of university education and the long distance they would need to travel to seek admission in other regions of Uganda often put higher education out of reach for many young, talented students from Karamoja. Yet, they harbor so much potential to transform themselves and their region. So much progress in setting up a university has been attained in the last 12 years since the seed of a university for Karamoja was first planted. The university was unveiled to the public, and special prayers were held on the 23rd of November 2025 to bless its opening.
Now for you people of Karamoja, this university is a new phase in the history of Karamoja. A place that was forever forgotten, seen as volatile, poor, left behind, far away and unreachable. Then now it is flung open.
It is a profound honor to stand here in Losilung as we celebrate the official opening of KAPATU, a milestone not only for this region but for Uganda as a whole. Praise be to God, whose grace has brought us to this historic and joyful moment. Today, in our beautiful land of Karamoja, we witness the fulfillment of a vision that God planted in the hearts of His people, a vision of education, transformation, and hope. We gather here not only to open a university, but to dedicate to it to God's service. For Scripture reminds us that unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain.
This university called Karamoja Peace and Technology University is going to be a linchpin for the progress of Karamoja in an accelerated speed and in a very well controlled and designed manner. I can say the university, in our own terms, as Karamojong, comes as what we call a julot, which is a Karamojong word that describes the status and the character of this university as a solution to an ailment that the society is going through. Why is it critical? Because the whole world over, we have adopted the universality of knowledge. That's why we have universities. Meaning that if you want to compete and play a successful role and living in the next years to come, you must have acquired a universal set of knowledge. You must have acquired universal skills. You must have acquired universal perspectives and so on. These have been missing in Karamoja because our people have been stopping below the university. Whether they went to school or they didn't go to school, they never have a chance to access the universal knowledge system. In bringing this institution to Karamoja, we make it easier for our people. We make it possible for the people of Karamoja. We actually reduce the barriers that have been in the way of the people of Karamoja, and therefore provide them with energy to propel themselves using the universal knowledge, universal skills system to first of all take care of themselves, but also compete with the rest of the world.
A university project was launched on the 29th of April 2023 at function graced by Her Excellency, the Vice President of Uganda, retired Major Jessica Alupo, who represented His Excellency the President of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
Let me start by thanking the Executive Director, National Council for Higher Education, for accepting to physically grace our ceremony, because having been briefed by the President of the Catholic Lawyers Society International and having been given the impression that some of the activities that we are launching today are in line with your office, especially to enable the university to commence, I thought that you would be present in this ceremony when these announcements are being made, so that you can appreciate deeply the need to expeditiously implement the activities, especially that of the Karamoja University of Peace and Technology. I bring you warm greetings from His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who we had invited to come and preside over this very important ceremony, but because of other equally demanding state duties, he sent me with his written message to read to you, Lord Bishop, and the members of the congregation. I also sought audience with Mama, the First Lady and the Minister of Education and Sports, because some items here touch exactly on her docket. I thought that we needed her blessing as well. And Lord Bishop, she too is in full support of our activities, and she sent you and members of the congregation her warm greetings. So having said that, I would now like to read a message of His Excellency the President to you, Lord Bishop. I thank the Catholic lawyers for demonstrating a concern for social issues beyond their legal practice. The NRA's liberation struggle was against bankrupt leadership, which promoted sectarian ideas of tribe, religion, gender, etc., and eliminating social backwardness characterized by ignorance, disease, and pre-capitalist and subsistence modes of production. Therefore, the main goal is achieving socio-economic transformation by helping the remaining 39% of homesteads to join the modernity of the four sectors, including commercial agriculture, with good calculation, industries, services, and ICT.
We noticed that there is urgent need to take a new strategic approach to the question of Karamoja sub-region and the Great Lakes region in general. To achieve a people and culture-centered approach, we have planned to set up a vibrant and dynamic university in Karamoja, specifically in Kotido, that focuses on developing peace in the region and work with the leaders and the population to identify their needs and interests so as to live a better quality life. The purpose of this university is to conduct strategic research and facilitate the process of a paradigm shift, change of attitude, and the change of mindset at all levels. Your Excellency and my lords, Karamoja sub-region has been neglected for the last 146 years. This is from June 1877, when the Christian missionaries first came to Uganda. We are therefore convinced beyond human contradiction, and we have the firmness of resolve that this Karamoja Peace and Technology University that we have embarked on establishing in Kotido district of Karamoja sub-region in Uganda will provide the necessary platform to make a difference and provide, especially to the youth, inspiration and new opportunities like the rest of mankind.
It is set to open its doors to the first intake of students in 2026.
And therefore, government supports the establishment of Karamoja Peace and Technology University, and we shall go a long way in ensuring that it is sustainable. I only would like to call upon my Vice Chancellor there, because I'm the Deputy Chancellor of the University. His Excellency the President is the Chancellor, the Professor there, and also the President of the Catholic Lawyers Society, to ensure that all the programs that we shall run in this university are relevant in the world of work.
In terms of preparation to start teaching, we started with the letter of interim authority, which was granted by National Council of Higher Education, so we're complying very well. We have now applied to start with a few courses of the programs, and the application is done. We are waiting for National Council to come and visit us. Once they find us worthy to start, we are planning to start. For us, we are ready to start in August 2026 to open our gates to our first students.
The idea of a university was born out of the meeting of minds of a diverse group of people who felt deeply about the need to transform the region that has been left on the margins of development through historical bias dating from the colonial era, coupled with harsh climatic conditions. Saverino Tinobusinje, a lawyer and president of the Catholic Lawyers Society International, first mooted the idea of a university in 2014 while researching mining law for his master's degree. He realized that there was a high school dropout rate in Karamoja, while other parts of the country that embraced education were progressing steadily.
When I brought the matter to the attention of my colleagues at the Catholic Lawyers Society International, they decided to study this question further, and part of what we had discovered during our research was a gap in education. Many children were dropping out of school and ending up into mining. And so the question was, how can we use education as a tool to bring about socio-economic transformation and then be able to equalize Karamoja with the rest of Uganda?
In order to move the idea from theory to practice, Catholic Lawyers Society International needed to find the most suitable institution that had experience in education and trust from the community with whom they could partner to advance the dream. The inspiration by the Catholic Lawyers Society was embraced by His Lordship, Bishop Philippe Giuseppe, who was then the Bishop of the Kotido Catholic Diocese. The Karamoja Peace and Technology University was born and quickly accepted by not only the Catholic community, but also the entire leadership of the Karamoja region. The Diocese of Kotido offered the university premises, which used to house a primary teachers' college at Losilung, as its launch pad and main campus.
When Catholic lawyers they thought of an initiative to do in helping in Uganda, they chose Kotido. And Kotido, therefore, accepted to give a place where this university would take shape from. That is why I, in my capacity as the ordinary of the diocese, opted to give Losilung, being near the town, a little bit outside the town, but with a good portion of land, which is reachable for an institution that is developed like this. And this is also to consider that Kotido, as part of Karamoja, has long had no university ever since.
Father Dr. Philip Lockel, a Catholic priest and chaplain of the Catholic Lawyers Society International, came on board with his academic input in addition to offering spiritual guidance to the team as they progressed with the dream.
This idea, which basically came from Jose Severino and some other people, and then right from that moment we really supported the idea. Of course, we discussed it many times, we tried to refine it, and coming from Karamoja as I do, I try to also to be helpful, to give the Karamojan context vis-a-vis this university, you see, and also stress the fact that there is really need. It is high time there was something of that nature in Karamoja.
KAPATU is a university that has been much needed not only for Karamoja but also for the entire Ateke region, where no institution of higher learning at the university level existed before.
Karamoja has been lagging behind. For a Karamojong, it was a cow, it was a goat. This scholarly education did not make meaning, because many people take years in the school, and yet for a Karamojong, Karamojong is practical, he or she is practical, needs results there and then. So this is thinking and so forth is not something good for the Karamojong. Like for me, who has been transformed, I can think now like the Europeans and so forth. But my people in the villages want practical results. So now, for us, when we think of the university, when we say the university will enable the Karamojong to develop, the idea is to disarm the mind, to change from the mind of the cow, the mind of cattle rustling, the mind of considering others as enemies, you know. Whoever wants to grab my thing is an enemy. So that's what the university is to address.
The Atekere region is home to the people who share a similar language in a region that spans from Ethiopia and South Sudan, spreading to Kenya and Uganda. This broad language group, which thrives in cattle keeping, has remained nomadic or semi-nomadic in lifestyle and largely stayed on the margins of development. The university will address their aspirations for a peaceful region free from insecurity and offer solutions to their economic needs.
Some of the people you see standing here are reformed youth. These are people who are involved in cattle rustling. They are the people who are involved in disturbing the neighbors. But because when we talk to them, they accept it. They are here today. You can see them happy.
It is also an instrument for regional diplomacy and regional integration.
How significant is this university? So the Koateke found themselves in Ethiopia, in Kenya, in Uganda, in South Sudan. Now, roaming, that's where the armed pastoralists live, where government has been less, law enforcement has been less, service delivery has been less, education has been less, the economy, integration economy has been less. So this university is very significant because the first university to be established within this community of Ateke.
As a university for peace and technology, the courses are designed to address the long-standing challenges of the region, which are linked to armed cattle raiding, the harsh dry weather, and erratic rains which keep the population on the move in search of water and pasture. At the same time, the region is endowed with immense natural resources, which include mineral deposits that can be harnessed to improve the lives of the communities who live in this wide expanse of land.
I find myself now working on the Karamoja we want, and the Karamoja we have always dreamt to be as young professionals growing up, and now to a point where we are dreaming to have a Karamoja Peace and Technology University, which is a very transformative, a force which is a very transformative, a university that is also central in peace building. So why I'm so excited and linking now this KAPATU, Karamoja Peace and Technology University, to my upbringing, to my experience in government, and now pacification efforts in Karamoja is that KAPATU is not just any other ordinary university. It is for peace building. Like you have Science and Technology University, MUST, in Mbarara. Here you have peace and technology. So as a peace building instrument in a region that has cried for so long to have peace within itself, peace with neighboring districts like in Acholi, in Lango, Karamoteso, Sebei, Bugishu, and also peace with the rest of the Ateke region in Turkana, in Nyangatom of Ethiopia, South Sudan, Topoza, Didinga. So to have a university of this magnitude whose center focus is peace and will be an instrument for peace building and generating experts in the region that will participate in creating this sustainable peace is a good thing.
It is only education that can dismantle. The school-going age can continue in the normal structures. But a component of skilling the Karashunas, those who are grown up, giving them skills, and later, with the stages, they can also graduate in the university.
The National Council for Higher Education gave KAPATU a letter of interim authority on the 19th of April 2024, which set conditions for the university to be given a license.
Allow me to affirm that the National Council is aware of the Karamoja Peace and Technology University project. Chief guest, on the 19th of April 2024, the project was given a letter of interim authority. This letter allows the promoters of KAPATU to mobilize the necessary funds to develop the requisite infrastructure, both physical and human, and also to establish the necessary planning and governance structures of the university. Chief guest, the promoters also applied for a provisional license, which was received by the National Council on the 27th October 2025. And this application is under consideration at the National Council. My appeal, Chief guest, all members here, and the promoters and stakeholders, is that you establish the necessary infrastructure, human resource, and also the physical structures, such that by the time the National Council comes here, it finds what is necessary, so that your application can be properly progressed.
The university was required to raise the requisite finance, put in place necessary infrastructure, and have the necessary personnel to do academic and administrative work. Most of these requirements have been met, including developing courses and hiring qualified staff to deliver state-of-the-art teaching.
At Karamoja Peace and Technology University, the courses that we have undertaken to do include peace and diplomacy, engineering and technology, agriculture and environmental sciences. We also have health sciences, education, and law. In terms of how these courses address the unique needs of the Karamoja region, first of all, as we did our curriculum development, we have done extensive community engagement to make sure that we are meeting the needs. Relevance was very important for us. So we have asked all the people who work in Karamoja, the different elders in Karamoja, what would work for them. And what we have found is what we have used to develop the courses. For example, we realized that Karamoja will not take the kind of agriculture that's taught in the different universities. It will only take that kind of agriculture that's for dry lands. And that is what we are focusing on.
KAPATU is also unique in the sense that it will implement the Technical and Vocational Education and Training Act 2025, which allows universities to enroll individuals who have never attended school. People who dropped out of school early can also continue their education by being skilled in specific trades. This offers a chance to many semi-skilled people from Karamoja to certify their skills with a university certificate.
The uniqueness really is in about that there are skills that we have left out. Like the one of the younger people whom we call the Karachuna. We want to mobilize these people who may not get work somewhere, who may not get employment outside, to be able to learn skills that can help them to do things that can change themselves from only focusing on cows to realizing there is also life away from the cows through maybe bricklaying, through construction, through better agriculture.
Youth who have been reformed from cattle rustling are already engaged in construction at the Kotido Catholic Diocese, even before the university opens its doors to students, proving that not only is the idea feasible, but it is critical for their socio-economic transformation.
It starts from what is called pre-vocational, where you have people who have never been to any formal schooling, but have these skills which they can pass on to others, called pre-vocational certificates. A university is now able to give such a certificate. A university is supposed to give what is called a vocational or an elementary certificate, where if you stopped at P7, but you have a skill that we can look at, that we can pass on to others, we will teach you for a certain period of time, give you that certificate, and you can still present that certificate to us, and then we take you higher until you get a diploma, until you get a degree, until you get a master's, up to PhD.
KAPATU was initially conceived as a private university project spearheaded by the Catholic Diocese of Kotido and the Catholic Lawyers Society International. The project was presented to the Government of Uganda, which agreed to take it up as a publicly funded university after critically assessing its goals and finding it the right fit within its regional plans.
We thought and we see it right to bring the government on board because the church works hand in hand with the government, and the church helps the government in certain things. Where the government cannot have initiative, the church may become the initiator and involved, because the church and the government serves the people. And the church, depending on its own local resources, may not be able to run certain facilities alone. That's why the church also involves the government, so that the government, with its the national budget, should consider this as part of the activities that it should serve for the same people, together with the church, moving side by side with each other.
Okay.
So it's for that reason that we went a step ahead to contact the government as such, and thanks to His Excellency the President of Uganda, Kaguta Museveni, who accepted to embrace this as part of a development program that should take place in the diocese and in the country, and more so in Karamoja as a region.
When we met the Vice President, Jessica Rose Pera Rupo, she greatly welcomed the idea and brought it to the attention of His Excellency the President. And the President accepted, without even anything written, to be the founding chancellor of this university. And we thought that we had made a breakthrough. And from that time, life has never been the same. The President took it up. We eventually got all the politicians from Karamoja, all members of parliament. They got on board. Cabinet sat and it passed a decision that Karamoja Peace and Technology University should be transformed into a nucleus national university for Karamoja region. Totally unprecedented. Parliament passed a resolution to make sure that the government funds this university.
It didn't appear to be an easy task to raise money. We were determined to try, but it looked quite, tough going. But now the president decided that it should be a public university. So the state is going to be meeting a lot of the basic requirements for the infrastructure, for the recurrent expenditure, and things of the kind. So yes, it may not be enough. We will continue with support from donors from wherever, either here or abroad. But that will be supplement what the government will have provided.
Karamoja Peace and Technology University became a major project in the National Development Plan 4 through a process facilitated by Operation Wealth Creation. The university is well aligned with the goals of creating wealth, which occur in a stable and peaceful region that embraces research and innovation as a springboard for industrialization.
General Saleh invited the National Planning Authority to Karamoja, and we spent about 4 days with them so that they could see the size, they could see the people, they could feel and smell everything and get to the details. And we had 3 days of discussions on all issues: health, education, agriculture, with special emphasis to animal production. We also went into the minerals, which Karamoja has a lot. So a comprehensive Karamoja document was developed, looking at all these sectors, including the level of local competence and what is required by government and the private sector to invest in Karamoja.
National Housing and Construction Company has been given the mandate to partner with KAPATU to ensure that the appropriate infrastructure is identified, designed and developed at the university. Its staff is already on the ground doing the assessment. It is envisaged that over a period of 5 years, 3 trillion worth of infrastructure for academics, extension of ICT to ease communication, and water distribution and supply will have been put in place.
And so, at National Housing, we are resourced with the surveyors, land surveyors, and we'll quickly move and do the surveying and mapping with the topo surveys of the land. That will give us information on master planning the land. And when you're dealing with infrastructure, you deal with the aspect of numbers. You want to say what is the capacity of the institution, because you're also thinking through master planning, what is this infrastructure that we must envisage in the foreseeable future. You will also design and make sure these designs are accredited by the stakeholders. And upon approval, we shall also proceed to do the construction.
The distinctive curriculum of KAPATU will be delivered through on-campus learning as well as through a network of study centers spread across the Karamoja region. The centers, which are a good catchment for students, will make university education accessible and affordable to students from the neighboring settings. Jubilee 2000 Secondary School in Karenga, with a population of 1,437 students, is the only secondary school in the Karenga district. It is one of the satellite study centers for KAPATU.
It's coming to this region, and especially given the fact that Karenga is almost like an isolated zone. The nearest university here is in Gulu, which is over 300 kilometers away. If you talked of Kampala, Kampala is even a lot more distant. Kotido would be a lot more nearer. It's about 160. But the fact that this would be a satellite center would do a lot. First of all, it will transform this region also economically, because students come with economic benefits. But what matters most is what it would do to our learners who come from within Karenga, because the university will be just a walking distance from their homes. Many of our students drop out because of the costs of university education. In Kampala, a hostel is 1.5 million and tuition is 800. So you would think that maybe you can afford tuition. What happens to accommodation? What happens to feeding? Now, with this satellite center, our children will just walk from home and study from here.
Kosloi Mary, a senior 6 student of Jubilee 2000 Secondary School Karenga, is studying biology, agriculture and geography and hopes to study agriculture at university.
I was also happy when I heard that there is a new university, which is the first university in Karamoja region. I was very happy because I could not afford, for most of my conditions, I could not afford to go to those universities far there. Now I'm very glad that the university is here. I would like to be the pioneer of that university.
Pope John Paul Memorial College in Karbong, which was started in 2007, is another proposed satellite center for Karamoja Peace and Technology University. With an enrollment of 350 students, the school has been delivering good performance and sending students to various universities across the country. However, students often struggle to raise dues for private education, especially when enrolling for university. But with the university opening its doors in the region, it will offer students affordable education.
The collaboration would be that our students would have a chance to have or to study from the new University of Karamoja, because as parents, first of all, they don't have money even for transporting their own students to far universities.
Morulem Girls Secondary School in Abim district has enrolled 450 students, though it has the capacity to take on 1,400 students at a time. It is located in what used to be a leprosy and TB center when the diseases were rampant in the region. After bringing the diseases under control, a girls' school was established to utilize infrastructure that was established to manage the disease. The school has been identified as a study center and has the capacity to share the existing infrastructure with KAPATU.
We received good news that branch of the university KAPATU, that is Karamoja Peace and Technology University, is going to sit on this ground, meaning the secondary school is going to move to the other side because this school is in two sections. So the KAPATU team members came, they sent engineers, they sent many people. I personally participated to move with them around to see the land that we have to host this university. And I want to assure people the land for the university is there.
The teachers are also excited about the opportunities the school will offer them to advance their learning.
This university is going to help us a lot. Normally, we ourselves get a lot of challenges to go and study in Makerere, go and study in Chambogo, Mbarara University, Gulu, because of the bad roads. Then secondly, we still don't have that financial resources to enable us to travel and also attend ourselves there at school. Now that the university is coming here, it is going to solve so many problems. It is within reach, that is one good thing. Then even as the teachers who are here, it will be easy for us to upgrade while you are working.
Some of the students who complete high school at Morulem Girls Secondary School hope to pursue a career in medicine, and KAPATU's focus on health sciences will therefore be a good option to further their education.
The career I signed at BCA, I found out that there is also medicine and surgery. There is also teaching. Like the one I've just mentioned, there is comprehensive nursing, and that's why I was chosen to take that part as my career in future.
Kangole Girls in the Park District is another study center, in addition to Kotido Senior Secondary School, which will be an additional study center in Kotido District. The Bishop's Garage is another facility in Kotido, where students can receive practical training in motor mechanics and other additional technical training. Kanawat Health Center 3, which is set to be upgraded to hospital status, is a partner of KAPATU in teaching health sciences. It will be a suitable training facility for students who wish to take up careers in health sciences. In addition, Matanyi Hospital is another partner that is well positioned within Karamoja to be a training hospital and a referral hospital. Operation Wealth Creation has been one of the critical players in ensuring that all key partners come together to bring the vision to bear.
The Operation Wealth Creation. The Chief Coordinator of Operation Wealth Creation, General Salim Saleh himself, is our Chief Advisor. General Saleh prefers to play a practical role where he is not seen publicly. But the role he has played, I can tell you, we have been able to reach where we are because of OWC. So General Salim Saleh and OWC and the Office of the President, and therefore the President himself, provides the software for making sure that KAPATU runs at the very fast speed that we're supposed to run. And that is why we have been able to reach where we have reached.
Government commitment to transform Karamoja to catch up with the rest of the country and develop together has been the goal of the NRM government since 1986, and as such, it is the only region included in the NRM 10-point program. And one of the critical tools the government is applying is education. A public university brings Karamoja at par with the rest of the regions of Uganda, which already have a public university.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm very happy. You know, NRM had objectives. We had a vision and we had objectives. And when we took power, we put plans converted into programs to bring about, to realize that vision. And my excitement is that Karamoja is not only catching up, but actually maybe even ahead of some parts of the country, because education is the way to go. That's what will transform Uganda as a whole. And I'm particularly happy that we are not looking at Karamoja alone, because you know we are Pan-Africanist. We are Ugandan, all right, but the president always makes the point that we need to establish some anchor for our security. How do we prevent what happened in the past when people exploited our weaknesses and took control of us and our resources? The only way to do it is to build. And we can only build not as tiny units, but when we unite.
The one who has been so passionate about Karamoja has been President Museveni. It looks like it took him for so long to bring change. First, he removed the guns, and that transforms Karamoja. And we are all very happy because there is peace. Now, with the coming of this university, which the president himself, Yoweri, is so passionate about and excited about, Mama Janet is excited about, General Salim Saleh is excited about, how can I be left behind when it's about my people?
The university is creating a much-needed human resource that will transform the region.
With education, even raiding, it is through education that raiding can be eliminated 100%, because people now will be seeking for white-collar jobs. They will not think of a gun, they will not think of raiding the neighboring districts, but they will be concentrating now with education. And this university is a milestone for that development.
Tomorrow, when the private sector is fully developed, like in terms of the mining and the putting up of industries, those are the opportunities now, because it will get a ground of people who are already trained and professional and skilled enough to provide the services. Now, KAPATU, therefore, is going to build up a workforce for Karamoja of skilled people in science and technology.
The establishment of KAPATU is more than an educational project. It is a strategic investment in people, peace, productivity, and long-term prosperity. It responds directly to Karamoja's most pressing needs and unlocks its greatest opportunities. It is a commitment to dignity, equity, and the future of the Karamojong people.
Karamoja Peace and Technology University, KAPATU, is set to be a transformative tool for the region, which is still grappling with attaining sustainable peace and stability. Through education, the population will embrace varied forms of livelihood and improve their agriculture practices. The university will improve the quality of life by offering solutions and innovations for overcoming poverty. It will empower the population to harness immense natural resources and help the population better adapt to semi-arid environmental conditions and prosper.